Building is like one of the last custom things we do in this country.
Dan, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
It's been a while.
Yeah, you haven't been here since we finished,
Your
have you?
landscaping's done, and
Yeah.
let's check this out.
Let me show you around a little bit. So the last time you were here, we were under construction.
It was all dirt.
Yes, we weren't quite done yet. We finished about 2 months ago, and this is a multi-generational home. I live here with my daughter's family. They are basically on the ground floor, and then we're up here, and that's why you can sort of see the different materials, because they really are expressing the different parts of the house. So the plaster is down on the ground floor, and then the metal panels are up on the second floor. And so it really gives this sort of layering strata and defines the different functions of the house. So down here in the courtyard, that's one of the gathering spots. The second gathering spot is up here between the two units. That's the library that's connected to the main house. So the idea is that there's just a different variety of places that we can get together and connect.
But there's boundaries too.
And then we also have our own private places
Yeah.
where we can go when, because let's face it, nobody wants to see somebody all the time, right? We all need our, as my little four-year-old granddaughter goes, I need my space, right? I need my space.
Yeah. Is this a Trex product?
It's very similar to Trex,
Yeah.
but that's one of the other things that I wanted to do here. Number one, it's a highly sustainable project because, that's what I do in my commercial work. So it's 100% net zero, all electric. There's a big PV system up there that will power it all. And I also wanted something that had low maintenance. If you have a big enough PV array, you can offset all of the energy with that. So the PV system, the photovoltaic system, was sized to do all of that, including the cars. We can bank on a certain amount of sunny days, an X amount of radiation hours every year, and that's how they size. That's how they size the PV panels. And actually, this is a big push that California's doing, and we're doing it in a lot of our commercial buildings right now. When you approach the utility rates that we're approaching here, your paybacks are 4 and 5 years.
I wonder what we can do about the workers' comp rates.
That's really tough. Nothing for that.
No panels for that?
Panels for that, yeah. So let's go inside here. So this is the main living room of my daughter's house. Since we were using this wood floor from forest materials, I wanted that to be the accent. Mm-hmm. So everything else really becomes background. So it's literally everything else is white to sort of showcase the floor. Mm-hmm. And so the cabinets, which you guys did, which are absolutely beautiful, and that beautiful paint finish. This is a Caesar sewn top. I like to use ordinary materials in extraordinary ways. Mm-hmm. So you'll see that things are like detailed a certain way and they're held off from one another, and doors have these trims, and everything sort of is in its place and has a place. And that's the same thing you do in sustainable design. Mm-hmm. It's how you orchestrate all of those different elements into a system. A really high performance building is always a great piece of design, because you're solving a problem. You're not chasing fashion, you're solving that problem. So, this building is oriented a certain way to allow the sun to come in and light and get the most benefit out of the PV panels, let the breezes, go through it, and how you sort of can open and close it up depending on the climate. That just makes for something that's very timeless and beautiful. That's what we're trying to do, and that's what this house is representative of, is just lessening your environmental footprint. In 2018, the California legislature passed a bill, AB 68, that basically allowed every single family zoning property in California to add up to 2 ADUs, accessory dwelling units. The whole idea was that it gave people the ability to add these units to help with our housing crisis. So that's what I did here. And the opportunity for this space here, which is 500 square feet, could be a separate ADU as well.
What's your plan here? What's the...
Well, my plan would be to, get more books, but I'm kind of maxed out.
Are these all architectural books?
Almost all of them are exclusive architecture books. That's one of my great passions. I think I've told you this before. I'm really fortunate because my vocation is my avocation. Yeah. I love architecture. I love being an architect. I'll be an architect till I die. So.
And who was the architect on this space?
That was myself, yes. And I work with my daughter, who's living here as well with her family.
Okay.
And so we collaborated together on it. It was really fun doing that. And We agreed on an awful lot of things. And so like she was the one who found this wood flooring system, which is really beautiful, yeah. A very hardy, sustainable piece of design. So there are two collections up here. One is the book collection and the other is this metal building collection that I've started over the years. And it's really become something that's a fun thing to do when we're traveling. I have friends who bring me buildings on their travel, family, so it's really been kind of a fun hobby.
So if you were to pick one building and one book.
Well, the one building that I actually had to really work hard to get was this one of the Johnson Wax laboratory building by Frank Lloyd Wright. And Johnson Wax gave it out, it was a lighter. And they gave it out at the grand opening of the building. And so this was in 37 or something like that.
That's incredible.
So I think there were like 500 of them or something like that. And so it was hard to find, but I knew this was sort of a really great one. See, it was a lighter at one time.
They probably smoked in the building at the time.
I'm sure they did. A lot of cigars, right? Yeah. This was, you know.
And then what about a book? What's your?
What would be a book that would be?
You know, there's a fire. You have to grab one book. Which one is it?
Let's see. Well, that's really tough. I hadn't even thought of that. Probably the Neutra book that is a catalog of all of his work. You know, he's a really important architect in Southern California. We got to renovate his Arboretum and Tower of Hope in Garden Grove. Wow. That he did for Reverend Schuler. 12 stories,
real
2,000 square foot footprint. Yeah. It was the tallest building in Orange County when it was built. And I mean, it's just literally this pencil.
We did the top floor.
It's a chapel.
Yeah.
I was just going to say. So
teeny tiny.
It's called the Chapel in the Sky, and it's one of the most magnificent spaces in Orange County. You can rent it out.
For a wedding or?
Weddings and other kinds of functions, and it is spectacular. I mean, really spectacular.
It's only, I mean, it's...
Yeah, it's a little bigger than this room. Yeah, I mean, it's really small.
Very intimate.
But the vistas from up there and the detailing, I mean, he was a really, really, really good architect. So if I'm looking for inspiration, I'll typically grab that and say, you know, I hope I could do something this well once in my life, you know.
I'm sure.
Yeah, well, anyways, so that'd probably be the book that I would grab, yeah.
Like I said, I've known you for a long time, and when I wanted to start these videos or conversations, and when I had this idea, you're the type of person I want to do this with because you're so good at what you do, yet you're so humble. And I've always appreciated that about you.
My family wouldn't say that.
Yeah, right.
LPA and Tabor have done a lot of really good stuff, including probably the hardest job you've ever had to do in your life, which is an architect's office.
No, I think this house is harder.
Well, I think you might be right. That might be harder, yes. So those two, I've been managed to get you hooked up on those two. But, you know, both have turned out just spectacular. And I think you and I have had these conversations all the time. You know, there's two places where I don't think you should ever go cheap on when you're designing something. Mm-hmm. One is with your team, with your consultants. And the other is at the very end with the fit and finish of stuff. So like cabinets and built-ins, because those are the things that people touch and feel and come in contact with all the time. And I think because that's usually at the end of the job, lots of people find ways to sort of, you know, value engineer that. So the very front end of the job and the very end of the job, don't value engineer. That's where your money is really well spent.
And this is why I never wanted you to retire.
But it is, I mean, really, I mean, I come up to this here and I touch this and the finish is perfect and the way, you know, the way the detailing, I mean, all of that is really, really important. And that's something you come in contact and you touch every day. And so that's where your efforts should go. Right?
I agree.
So this is something that we bring the grandkids up here and they, you know, putt around.
This is not a bad place to hang out.
Yeah, it's not a bad place. So, and maybe someday I'll be a much better putter, which is
that's pretty darn good.
The bane of my existence as a golfer. Look at this guy. Bingo! I could pick up the same set of plans and build it on another site and it'd be a totally different job.
That's right.
So every time we're doing something custom. So if you're doing that, I think that you really have this opportunity to make something that really is crafted. That's right. And when you see that, it's really powerful. And it just makes a place really feel like it's something special when you see that. HVAC grills, they're actually just very seamless into the wall. They actually came painted like that.
Do they match the wall paint?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I use those. So all of those sort of details make something feel crafted, custom, and it makes a home, I believe.
See, I feel that way about millwork, but you wrap the whole project.
Well, your millwork is a part of it.
I feel like we share the same sort of passion for doing things better.
Yeah.
Not just getting it done, but doing it better.
Yeah. Well, why else do what we do?
That's right.
You can make a lot more money doing other things, but this is like passion, right? How lucky are we to be in a job that we really love and have that opportunity? You know right away when people went the cheap route and tried to
the look and feel you can't hide from.
Yeah, exactly. And it just pops right out at you. And so, again, if you're going to do this, you're going to be in this business, do it right.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that chair.
That was a Christmas gift to the leadership at LPA about 5 years ago. Everybody got one of those Ames chairs. The plywood studies the Ames did in the 40s and 50s were absolutely amazing.
Cutting edge.
Yeah, because they did that because there wasn't any steel during World War II. If you think of the furniture that they designed, it's in airports still being used. Conference room tables, chairs. It's remarkable stuff. Yeah.
I wish I was on our leadership team.
Yeah, you would've got one. Yeah, and I've seen the amazing sort of growth in this county, and I've been fortunate to be a part of it and have great clients like the Irvine Company and Hogue and Edwards and people who have supported what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I always say all the great things happened to me here in Orange County.
Yeah.
I found a career, I found my wife, and my daughter was born here. So my story is a uniquely Orange County story, I think.
I've really enjoyed our friendship, and I appreciate you as a person, and looking forward to going out golfing with you sometime soon.
And same to you.